Hey everybody, it's Allison here. I thought today we could talk about some of the things that grow really well here in Utah. So we're Zone 6, we're high desert. We live in the central part of Utah. And so Zone 6 for us means last frost date, first week of May, and then first frost in the fall is usually first week of October. Every year's a little different and you can push those boundaries, but anyway, that's what we're working with here. So we have a medium long growing season and things just really grow well here. So let me talk about some of the varieties of vegetables that we like the most. So let's start off with the 5 things that I think are easy to grow here and I love to grow. If you're only going to do a few things, these 5 things will make you happy. Tomatoes, beans, squash, garlic, and every pepper. So tomatoes grow really well here. Put them out after the last frost. And I'm a big fan of heirlooms. So I always have heirlooms and every year I try something new. But the things I always plant are these little guys, which are Costoludo Genovese. These guys crank out tomatoes and they're so pretty. And then tasting, all along here are pineapple tomatoes. Those are our favorite heirlooms. They're big, juicy red and yellow slicers. So we always have those. And then I always plant San Marzano. And these freeze really, really well. I actually don't can anymore. I just wash them and throw them in a bag and freeze them. Worked out great. Use them all year. So those are the ones I always try, and then I always try something new. So this year I have purple Cherokee right there. Got 2 of those. And black crim. Never had these, but already setting up tomatoes. And then I have a few hybrids that I have never tried. This one's called Whopper. And then in the other bed, I have a couple more Jet Star, it was called. So we'll try it out, see how it goes. So we're really fortunate here with tomatoes. We don't get a lot of diseases because it's dry. So things go really well. I don't have any cherries this year, but normally I do grow Sun Gold and Sweet Million. Those do awesome in Utah. So the next thing that grows really well here is beans. So these are, I prefer pole beans because for the footprint that they take up in the garden bed, you get about 4 times more than you would off of a bush bean. And these guys are Malibu pole beans. I love them. They don't, even if they're big and like too big oversized, they taste great, they're tender and truly prolific. But I do grow some bush beans, and that I like Provider. So squashes grow here both winter and summer, as long as you can keep them protected from the bugs initially. So that's always the big struggle here. You've seen me, if you've seen any of my other videos, you see how badly I'm struggling with the bugs this year. So for winter squash, I don't know, everything seems to be great. Pumpkins are good, butternuts are awesome. I prefer butter babies because we're just 2 of us and it's a perfect size. Japanese futsu is my new favorite. I got those seeds from Baker Creek. And acorn squashes do great. And I prefer to grow for a summer squash a golden zucchini because you don't miss the fruit. You don't end up with the baseball bat size zucchinis because they're yellow. Next one is all peppers. It's my pepper bed. These are all hot peppers. They grow great here. They love it. I grow all different kinds. Growing bell peppers is not my favorite because of the sun. They always get sunburnt. And for the amount of food you get off of the one plant, it's not that exciting to me, so I stopped growing bell peppers. But yeah, we've got chili de arbo, I've got paprika that we make our own paprika out of. There is Anaheim and ancho and jalapeno. I've got reapers. So yeah, the soil here, the alkaline soil, peppers love it. Do remember though, like peppers for the most part, they want full sun, but they prefer a little bit of afternoon shade. So what we're doing here back behind me is 2 heirloom tomato plants that will grow up. So they'll have sun most of the day, but that very evening sun, it'll get cut off, a little bit of shade. And number 5, I have garlic. So garlic is one of those set it and forget it vegetables. This variety is called Music, pretty common, got it from Territorial. It's a hardneck variety that is a little bit purplish. It's really, really pretty, white and purple. And you plant them out in the fall and they sit through winter in the bed. And these guys are about ready to be harvested. We usually harvest them middle of July. So there's plenty of other things we grow outside of the top 5. Broccoli does really, really well here. We put it out before the last frost date. What's going on with that bird? Anyway, so I've tried most of the varieties we've really, really liked. We tried Marathon. What else? The Calabrese type does really well here, premium crop. I will tell you this time, this one's called Emerald Jewel. I don't really like it. I don't like the way it tastes. I don't think I'll plant it again. My husband thinks it's fine, but anyway, broccoli does really, really well here. I love growing peas. So these guys go out in March, and they're all climbers. My 2 favorite are Tall Telephone and Lillian's Caseload. These guys are spent, but I'm saving them. I'm letting them go to seed so I can save the seed. Let's see how. Look at those guys in there. Look great. But yeah, peas are great. So you can also plant them again in the fall, which I'm going to do. And so it's they just like cooler weather. But yeah, you can plant them twice. Same with like broccoli and cabbage and everything. We're going to be putting out a fall crop after we harvest this spring crop. Onions have been growing really well. Cannot tell you the variety though, because I just get them from the local nursery, so I know they're already hand-picked for us. And they usually have like 2 kinds of red, 2 kinds of white, 2 kinds of yellow, and a Walla Walla, which I've never tried. But yeah, these guys have been storing extremely well here as long as they're cured properly. Here is my spent lettuce bed. I'm going to let a couple of these go to seed. But the varieties that I love for here are these romaine type. This one's the Paris Island, an heirloom variety. And then this one is the black-seeded Simpson, really common, just grows really, really well here. And also love all of the butter varieties, like the Butter Crunch. Get those seeds a lot too. But yeah, these grow really, really well, and then they'll sow another for fall. We do grow cucumber. It's a bit of a struggle. It's a very sensitive plant. Got to keep the bugs off of it, and you even need to wait, not just after your last frost date, but maybe another 2 weeks after that, because they really, really don't like it when the nighttime temperatures aren't warm. So one more thing that we grow here that does extremely well is potatoes. Again, they just started very early in the spring, and honestly, every variety of potato I've tried so far has worked out really, really well. The only thing that you need to do here is add sulfur to the soil. And once we did that, we didn't get the potato blight anymore. Oh no, it's not blight, it's called something else, it's scab. We don't get potato scab anymore. So read the instructions on the sulfur, because it needs to go out not with the potatoes, but well ahead of the potatoes, so that it can soak into the soil and be effective. So I'm going to talk about a few things that, in my opinion, don't grow well here. So Some people are able to grow them, but over the years I just kind of give up because you don't have all the time in the world and you don't have all the garden space in the world. So I'm not going to try these things over and over and fail. So one of the things we've had trouble with here is sweet potatoes. It's not that they can't grow here. They need 120 days of really warm temperatures, and we have about 90. So that's good for most things, but it's really pushing it on sweet potatoes. So you'll get a lot of vine and very little crop unless you figure out something to extend the season. But anyway, sweet potatoes takes up a lot of space, so I kind of just skip those now. The other thing is melons, and I know some people are totally fine with growing melons here, but we almost never get melons if we try them. They're just too delicate in the beginning, and there's so much bug pressure, they usually always just get eaten. So I don't know. I don't even try doing watermelon or anything anymore. Another thing is blueberries. So blueberries like acidic soil, and we have very alkaline soil here. Fun fact, if you're purchasing minerals to put in your garden, like azomite, probably came from Utah. We have tons of minerals in the soil, and our soil is more on the alkaline side. So things like blueberries, they need acidic soil. So I have some, they're in pots, so I can give them their special fertilizer, and we'll see how that goes. But overall, not in ground in Utah. Although things like raspberries do fine. I would say my strawberries are only okay. They seem a little on the brink of death. And so there's two more things. Might just be a personal problem, but a lot of it boils down to how dry the soil is here. It just cannot explain to you how dry things are. They dry out over the course of the day. So I always have trouble with carrot germination. There are a few tricks I've done, and I've been able to get some carrots, but it's been rough. But that's not something I've given up on, whereas I did give up on the melons. And the other, for whatever reason, I had trouble with spinach because it seems like it likes this exact time frame of coolness and warmness, and we tend to have extremes here. It'll be very cold and then we bump up really hot and the spinach will bolt. So it's not that I can't, it's just, it's really tough to get that enough grow time for it to be a nice big leaf and not bolt because of the way that our temperatures go. But yeah, so that's just my opinion. Gardening, you want it to be fun, you want it to be able to continue, so stick with the things that work for you. And I know, like, we're so fortunate to be able to grow, like, tomatoes are awesome. They never have any trouble with the tomatoes, and peppers are usually really, really good, stuff like that. I know a lot of people grow corn here. I like corn, I don't love corn, and you need a lot, you need a big square of it to be able to fertilize itself. So it's just something I don't bother with, but I know it grows really well here. So, but yeah, so let me know, you guys, what you think. Tell me some of the varieties that you love. I know I didn't mention a lot of hybrid tomatoes. I don't know if anybody has some favorites of those. I did mention like the Sun Gold, but anyway, let me know the things that are doing your best in your garden, especially if you're in Zone 6.